Life is tough. You already know that. The question is, are you tougher than life? Today, we're sitting down with a man who's lived it. He fought through it, and he came out on the other side stronger. Dr. Brooks Tiller is with us. He's a coach, an outdoorsman, a healer, and a brother in Christ with a passion for helping men live life to their fullest. We're going to talk about how to move forward when life knocks you down, why every man needs a band of brothers, and how to build a life that doesn't just survive, but thrives. This is the Stand Up Dude Podcast.
Well, Brooks, thank you very, very much for being here, man. I've wanted to have you here since we met. Then I understood you were a doctor, and then you helped me out, and you did the magic stuff, and then you told me you wrote a book, and then you told me how you talked about being a dad, and all the above just made me think other men need this story, need these practical helps that you will offer today. I appreciate you being here, and thank you so much, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Respect you a lot, and I forgot to mention Bow Hunter. Hello.
Yeah.
So you guys, today's show is you will find is for men. You will also find it's for divorced men, but you may not be married and you may not be divorced, but I know that you know a lot of divorced men. And one of the highest, I didn't even know this existed, but one of the highest callings, I think, is to minister to men's hearts, and the ones that have been just stomped on more than about anything, and really hurt and really divided and separated, is a man's heart that's been divorced. And lastly, I just wanted to say, you treat your children astonishingly well. And man. And I'm a part of a men's group full of divorced men, because that's a lot of them. That's why they come in there, because they're hurting. And one thing I've noticed is they really, really love their kids, and they do most anything they can to be with their kids. So that's what made also all of this align for me to have you here, because I know that men are built to some deeply need connection with their children after a divorce, and that's what you help with. So thank you for that, and God bless you for doing this.
Thank you. I really appreciate those kind words. I appreciate that.
You're very welcome. Now, one of the practical things that you've done is you've written a book. Yeah. It's called Forward. So tell us about that. I read.
Yeah, show it to the camera.
Yeah, man.
We got it right here.
I read more of it than most books that I'm given. How about that? Mm-hmm. And I was like, this thing is well written. It's short and to the point, and it's obviously for men, and it's insightful, and it speaks to the heart. Like, let's go. So tell us about Forward.
Yeah. So it was one of those where going through everything, whenever you go through anything in life, that experience is unique to you. It's a unique, we may do similar things. We may both bow hunt, but the bow you shoot, the bow I shoot are different, but we can talk about and compare those things.
Yes.
And so for me, I started being connected to other men that were going through divorce. I would be friends like, hey man, my buddy just got papers and he doesn't know what to do. Can you call him? So I would call and talk. And through that, I just wrote a lot of stuff down. It's just one of the best things that I found for me was, if I can get out of my head and get it on paper, I can see it in black and white. And even some of the crazy stuff that may run through your head, you put on black and white, like, I would never tell my kid that. Why am I saying that to myself?
Oh.
And all those kind of things helped. And for me, I would look at some different journals, some different books, and I would read a third of it, and I'm like, this is really good. And then maybe the last 2/3, I was like, I can't actually recommend this to a man of faith. This is not aligning with what God says.
Okay.
And so for me, going through that, and I just had a friend who was going through a rough time, and I just mentioned to him, I was like, man, I've written some stuff. I'd love to just share it with you. And ended up, he actually contacted me a couple of days later, and I actually heard, kind of through the grapevine of mothers and mothers-in-laws and things like that, that night he was basically sitting there and he was reading through some of the stuff I wrote. And he's like, I'm not the only one. I'm not alone. And that kind of really encouraged me to put it more into a formal book instead of just a few little notes, a few little documents,
little post-its,
emails,
or docs,
So, and so just kind of, organize it. And it's really just a 30-day journal for a man to go through. And it's like the left side, as you said, it's 400 to 500 words, not very many at all. It's just a paragraph or two that you can read a few minutes.
I love it.
At the bottom, there's a couple of Bible verses if you wanted to dive deeper into what the Bible says about this topic. But I didn't want to be banging anybody over the head with the Bible. So there's not a lot of like, here's what this is going on in the Bible. It's just, here's the principle, here's some Bible verses. And the right side is just lined and blank. So you can write down all your thoughts and feelings about this. And that's one of those things I think that once you're able to kind of write those things down and get them out, then you will be able to better share that with somebody else. And that was really the big thing is like, as men, we don't want to be like, let me tell you what's going on wrong in my life this week. And we don't do that. But I think once you write it down, you can kind of sort that through your mind and be like, I am struggling with this. And you can actually maybe verbalize that to, your band of brothers, the guys that are close to you.
Yeah.
And it's really helpful in that way. And that's really the purpose of it, was just to kind of get a conversation going.
Yeah.
Get you through that first little bit, because the stats show that the chance of suicide, increases dramatically within the first 30 to 60 days of divorce or separation.
Oh, man.
And so you think about, if you get hit with those papers and it's like, man, all right, everything that I thought about my life is gone. And as a man, you're like, man, everything I've worked for is gone. Like, what am I doing? It could be a very hopeless situation. So my hope was that, this would be a resource that someone who's like, I've never been through this, I don't know what to do, but they can just be like, just work through this, and if you need to talk, I'm here.
And I love that it's personally, I love that it's short and it's to the point. As you describe it, it's got different topics, and you said a couple paragraphs and a Bible verse and some open space. Like, but to me, I thought if I hadn't read much of it, I thought, well, that sounds a lot like a Devo. When I read this, I don't perceive this as a Devo. This is like a guided path that makes you feel that I'm not alone, really, because these things that are brought up are the exact things that are going through a man's heart. Like chapter, if you want to call it this. I'm just talking, it's to the point. It's guidance. The next one, gratitude. The next one, forgiving. And then it goes on. How many chapters are in here?
30. So
30.
Basically a month's worth.
So there you go, man.
And like you said, the purpose really was to have that to walk alongside a man that's going through this. If you came to most ministers, church leaders have never been through it. So, whenever they start giving advice, sometimes it's not the best because they've never been there, done that. But it was something they could reach around, pull off the bookshelf, say, hey, start working through this and let's talk about it. And then you have that talking point. But the whole point was, as we hunt, sometimes we need a guide. And we're lost in the wilderness.
It's always better with one.
Yeah, whenever you're like divorced, you're lost in the wilderness. It's dark, it's stormy.
Yeah.
I can't see my hand in front of my face.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, I'm here. I've got this kit. I've got a light. Yeah. There's a mountain peak out there. We're going to get there. It's going to take a little bit, but I got you. Let's walk beside it. I've been through this dark trail. And then it's kind of that, like, let's get you through that first dark moment.
So, thank you. I hadn't thought of this before, but hearing you say that, I thought, man, this is a lot like a book through grief. And grief comes from loss, and loss can be from somebody that you literally lost that's dead, or a man that has lost his wife. She's still alive, and so that's a whole nother level of grief. Thank you for doing this, and I guarantee you that this would help a man's heart not feel alone, that he's not crazy. This is a great guide. So you've said something also that we mentioned it in the intro, that life is tough. So be tougher than life. Yeah. I was talking to Stu about it, and he was like, I'm know what that means, but I kind of don't. I kind of
hits
like
hard,
it,
but you're like,
and I
why?
kind of don't like it.
Yeah.
Like, tell us about being tougher than life when life is tough to
And
you.
are there like any examples in your own life where you're like, this is when I had to do this?
Yeah. For me, it became one of those things as I was sometimes out even, in the past, like I said, I did a TV show and just a podcasting and stuff. I would talk to guys just about some hard hunts and hard times, maybe whether it be fitness or the outdoors. And I started realizing in life, and I think about when I'm in the outdoors, or if I'm going to squat, you put 400 pounds on the bar. It doesn't care if you're a millionaire or, if you don't have anything to your name, it's 400 pounds. And the purpose of that bar is to go down. It's trying to kill you. If you go on the mountain, it's trying to kill you. It doesn't care who you are, what status you have.
So you don't take it personal.
No. And for me, I think about like, there are days that they're just they're harder than others. And those are the days when I'm like, I just have to make it through this next tough moment. And then I'll deal with the next tough moment after that. And sometimes in that grief, like you're talking about, it may be like, I just need to make it through the next breath. I need one more breath. And then I'm going to take one more breath. And so it's all about just kind of framing that instance. I always think about, Satan's hitting us all the time. And I thought, man, if I fall down and stay down, that's when Satan wins. If I get back up, he can't win. And that's me relying on God and me doing what I'm supposed to do. And so the combination of those two was just, there were days when I was like, man, I don't even want to get out of bed.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to sit here and mope. But I'm like, if I get up, put my feet on the floor, like Satan's like, thought I had him beat. All right, I'm going to have to go, and I'm like, yeah. And I also thought sometimes like, if Satan's having to work more on me, that's less that he's having to work on somebody. He's got time to work on somebody else.
Right, yeah.
And so for me, I've always just almost enjoyed doing tough things, whether it be working out or hard hunts or just going out and doing, wild and crazy things that would be, most people say wild and crazy, but I'm talking about just go out in the woods for 2 weeks by yourself or on a big elk hunt or, just like, all right, can I push myself through this workout that's going to be tough and challenging and it's going to hurt, but I can do it. And that's going to, if I do those tough things, I know that in life, some of those things, they're going to be, so, and like you said, the examples is just, I mean, there are days that you want to give up, there's no doubt about it. There's no way around it. And it's like that, you have that grief and it's like, you have love that has nowhere to go. And it's like, what am I supposed to do with this? And you have to work through that. And it's that tough moment. And you're like, man, it'd be so easy to give up right now. But I can be a little bit tougher and through this moment, and I can endure this moment and it's going to make me better. It's going to be, it's kind of like, you don't complain about the workout you did, but you regret the one you don't do.
Oh, dang. So,
I just had a question actually with that. Like, so it's a difference. I think when people hear tough, they think like, bearing your feelings, your emotions, don't show anything, just pretend like you're stoic or whatever. And that's not what I'm getting from what you're describing. It sounds more like it's actually pushing into like perseverance. Like there's a biblical idea of perseverance. Like it's pushing into the storm instead of running away. So how do men like walk that line between like a genuine toughness or a fake toughness,
Yeah. And I think part of it is finding the people that you can be real with. And that can be really tough. I mean, I have what I call my shovel friends that like, if it's 2:00 in the morning.
Oh yeah. You were talking about these friends before we hit record.
If it's 2:00 in the morning and I get a call, they get a call. It's like, all right, where I need to be, I'm bringing my shovel. It's like, what happened, but those are the kind of guys like, I know that we may not talk on the phone for a couple weeks, but if something goes on, they're going to be there for me. And it's just knowing you have those guys. And a lot of guys probably can't name 2 or 3 men they actually would trust with deep, dark secrets, or they would even just with their feelings. Yeah. And I think that's one of the biggest things is making sure you have those in your life. It's kind of like, all right, who can I trust in this? And for me, I mean, I've got my dad and some great friends, cousins that I've always been able to lean on and talk to about whatever may be going on in my life. And I think having that group is different than just like, I'm just going to, you know, just be stoic and just, and when you do that, you push everything down long enough, it's going to blow up one day. And you don't want it to blow up, you know, on the wrong person, which is easy. We push it down, and it's just so easy that the person that loves you the most, that's with you the most, it's easy to blow up on them whenever it's actually the people at work that are frustrating you, but you come home and you blow up there. And I think that we need that group that we can like, look, man, I'm struggling with this. I'm having trouble right here. Like, I don't know if, like, you know, and I mean, I've had friends who are like, basically like, man, like I'm struggling and I don't know if I'm going to make it till tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you call them like, dude, what's up? And we talk for 2 hours. Cause I'm like, dude, you're not going to be going taking a bottle of pills real quick.
So it sounds like, man. So it sounds like the difference between living fake and living real is finding men that you can be real with and that won't judge you, because guess what, he's going to need you next, you know, and that's how that goes. So there's the fine line in between those is really divided pretty quick when you can break the fake and get real with somebody. And I guess that's your answer, right? That's it. I mean, and that's what it works. Those 2 a.m., 3 a.m. calls, it's going to pick up. It's really, really good.
Yeah. I mean, great example of that would be a good friend. And I mean, we haven't hung out in person a lot. We were introduced by my friend Bert, and Danny lives in Hawaii. Like, I'm in the deepest, darkest time of my life. I'm all alone. It's 1 a.m. midnight, whatever it may be. And I just text Danny for some reason. And I'm like, you know, hey man, like I'm having a rough day, man. I just, you know, I want to check in and just hope you're doing well. But, you know, it's like, it's been rough. Dude calls me. I mean, he's in Hawaii. He's like, yeah, man, what's up? You know, I'm just heading to pick up my kid from school. We talked for an hour, you know, and that was I remember that being a dark night for me, but Danny didn't have to do that. And since then I've talked to him and he's just like, just do it for somebody else. And that's all it is, you know, like, you know, for us guys, I mean, it's like, you just do it for somebody else and just pass it on. You don't have to pay it back necessarily.
Yeah. So sounds like he helped you move forward, and I think that, you know, that being a beautiful title of your book. How every guy listening has had a moment where he's been knocked down flat, right? Divorce or failure or losing a job, maybe even losing hope. So how do you personally just take the next steps forward when you don't feel like you can?
Yeah, it's hard. It's knowing why you're going to take that next step forward. You know, if you stay right here, sometimes it's that the devil, you know, versus, you know, what you don't know. Yeah. And sometimes you'll stay right here because I don't like it, but I can kind of be comfortable here.
So your why is what moves you from moving out of the comfort that you hope to create. And
it's why I want a better life. I want more. And it may be like, man, I've got to keep going. If you have kids, like, exactly. Man, my kids need to see me overcome these obstacles. Because if I give up, how can I tell my kid, don't give up? You know, if I tell my kid, you can do anything in this world, but yet I'm just going to settle for whatever I've got and don't go for my dreams and goals. And I think that's one of, like, I've heard, like, you know, some guy said it was the most common form of child abuse is telling your kid they can do anything, but yet you won't go after your own dreams. And I don't want to tell my kids something. I don't want to ever lie to my kids. I don't want to be like, oh, you can do anything, but yet they see me sitting still and not going after my dreams. And I think that's the biggest thing, is just knowing. And if you don't have that why, sometimes you feel lost. Like, why? Like, and that's why, like, you write down, sometimes it's, what do I not want? Who am I not? Yeah. And once you figure that not, you can figure out the real reason why and who you really are. I mean, I am not this, I'm not that. well, that means I must be this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be this. And, you know, and just kind of like setting that goal up of, you know, when we were young, we wanted to be, you know, basketball and baseball players. And we would like, what do they need? What do they do? What's the workout they did? And we'd want to be like that. And I think for us, sometimes we're like, all right, in 5 years, where do I want to be? And we figure that out. And then we can, okay, I'm going to have to work to get there.
Yeah.
So for any guy that's like listening, any man watching on YouTube right now, they say like, I'm stuck. I feel like I'm stuck in regret. I'm stuck in shame. I'm stuck in failure. What would you say is like one concrete small step they can take? Because what I heard you describe was like, don't get overwhelmed by the biggest picture. It's just take the bite of the elephant, you know? So what would you usually tell that guy?
For most of the guys that I've worked with or talked with, and even for myself, I think the biggest thing is look the guy in the mirror. The guy that's in the mirror, you need to look at him and be honest with that guy. Because there's a lot of times, like all those things you mentioned, you know, whether it be regret or shame or grief or fear, you can look at that guy and be like, you can do this.
Yeah.
And like, I believe in you. I love you. And that's so hard it's hard to tell somebody else you love them if you can't love yourself.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing is like, you can do this. You can overcome this, and then proving it to yourself, you know, whether it be a small goal of like, I'm going to go walk for 1 mile, and you go walk for 1 mile and keep that promise to yourself. So I think that's the biggest thing is like, whenever you're really struggling, like you can only control you.
Yeah.
You can only control you. And it's kind of that, you know, you can clean your side of the street, but the other side of the street may not get cleaned up. And so you clean your side of the street, you take care of you and what you can do. And, you know, and after that, like if something else happens, well, we can go over and deal with this. I mean, if your kids are doing something or your spouse is doing something, your friends are doing something, you can't control that. But I think the biggest thing is you control you and take care of you and love you the way that you need to be loved. And that way other people will see the way you love you and they will love you that way as well.
I've seen that as a married man, if things aren't going maybe as I hoped, or I'm wanting my wife to do certain things and of whatever those things would be in your life as a married man, you know, we all know like there's certain things we'd love to change or something. Well, instead of trying to change them, the work we do on ourselves is we change ourselves and our level of love, our level of work that we've put in on changing ourselves. Instead of changing them, it as we rise, this is kind of the mirror work that you're talking about and taking care of yourself. Man, I guarantee you have to take care of yourself as a single dad. I've seen you in action, and it requires a lot. And if you are not taking care of yourself, good luck, buddy. And so I have found though that as I care for my spiritual needs, and I look at myself in the mirror and I tell myself the truth, and I look right at myself, and it's just a few things that I've done just recently, where I've spoken right at it, and it's looking right in my eye, and it's very helpful. I probably ought to try it more. There's a guy here that has sat here several times named Pedro, and he does this kind of work, and it's really beautiful. But instead of changing others and hopeful of others change, you know, we have a responsibility and an opportunity really to be able to take care of ourselves like that. And what happens is our level, like I said, rises. And what happens is the others rise to us. Like your level of responsibility that you take in your home, you're showing your kids that that's what responsibility looks like. Instead of wanting them to be more responsible, they're going to totally be watching you. And that doesn't mean you have to be a workaholic. That does not mean you have to be perfect. It just means you're doing what you say you're going to do. And that comfort level that you may be seeking, it may not be time for that comfort level to be gathered at that moment. It's like it's time to get to do the thing, and you get your stuff done. And so anyway, I appreciate what you're saying there. I'm trying to kind of internalize it for me, as well as maybe for other people, that we rise. As we rise, others rise with us, instead of us wanting to change other people.
I think another point to that would be also how you speak to yourself. There's been times I've said things and I was like, man, if somebody said that to my kid, it'd be a scrap.
Yeah, it is.
Like, you won't talk to my kid that way.
Yeah,
but yet I'm going to talk to myself that
Crazy,
way.
eh?
And I think a lot of times run that through that filter of like, would I allow someone else to say that to me? Would I allow someone to say that to my kid?
Yeah.
And because a lot of those things that you're talking about, the fear, all that stuff, a lot of that is like, when I run that through that filter, I'm like, that's stupid. Like, I would not say that to anyone else. Why am I letting myself say that?
Yeah.
And so I think that's, and once again, that could be a little bit of Satan trying to whisper in your ear that you're not good enough.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm like, you know what? You know who died for me? You know, like, he already stomped your head. He'll do it again. I win in the end. He wins in the end. If I'm with him, I'm on his side. I win. Yeah. So you go hit the road, Jack, you know?
There's something I think that Christians, we forget, and it's, Jesus says, he's come to give us life, that we might have life and have it to the full, or abundantly.
Love John 10:10.
And and so when you hear that, like, what is kind of your reaction, and what does that even mean, to like live life to the full?
It's like, we've got it all.
Yeah.
I mean, we have everything that we need. I mean, we may think, oh man, I'd like to have that and that, but a full life doesn't mean all the things.
Yeah.
We have Jesus. And we, if you have kids, you're blessed to be able to, like, man, that's the only thing I can really take with me to heaven. And that's the goal. But I have a full life means, like, I know right here and now, we're not promised any ease. It's going to be a struggle. But having that life to full doesn't mean that I'm living that free life that we see on all the social media platforms with the fast cars and all that money. But it means that I have a full life, and it's going to be maybe not here, but on the other side. And we're going to have that full life. And I mean, for me, it's just one of those, like, Jesus didn't come to, like, a robber to steal and destroy. It's like, he's came to give me the life that I didn't have without him.
Yeah.
And I just have to remember that.
When I was, I don't think I've shared this, but if I have, then maybe somebody missed it there, but I think it's worth saying again. When I pastored a church, I did an illustration where I took a stool and I put a wine glass in there, and I took a pitcher of wine, and I talked about how this verse talks about he gives us life, and he gives it more abundantly. He gives us, it's overflowing and it's spilling over. And what I did is I poured the wine on the stage there into the glass, and it filled up, and I did it nice and slow. It filled up, and then it went over, and it ran down the bench, it ran onto the floor, got on my shoes, it got on the carpet. And my point was that probably everybody out there is saying, stop, this is uncomfortable. What are you, you're wasting it, or it's okay, we get the point, that's enough, it's good, I'm good. But that's what we also do to God sometimes. I do it all the time. I feel like I'm okay with if he blesses me this much, but if he blesses me this much, I'm like, I don't know if I have to. So let me control that. And just recently, I've just been practicing being in his presence with a full and open heart, saying, all you. And I believe that if we can't receive, then we can't give. As men, we're typically pretty good givers. We serve, but we are not very good receivers. And I think our Father wants to give us and fill us and overflowing, abundant, excessive, over the top, awkwardly. What if he blesses you awkwardly? Like I that's Isn't that enough? And I think often we dial that back. So that I just wanted to say that and remind men that we are often pretty good givers and very not great receivers. And when God says He gives us life and gives it abundantly, that means more than enough, spilling over. And that's what kind of God that we serve, and that's the kind of expressions I presume that you're wanting men to get in touch with here, that He hasn't left you, He hasn't abandoned you, He hasn't relaxed His hold upon you, and we need to be reminded that He assuredly not will I leave you without comfort or support. And man, those are the times where we need it the most, I would imagine. And not everybody's divorced, and not everybody's married, as we mentioned. It's just, but we all grieve, we all have loss, and I just I'm so grateful that you went to the trouble to put this in writing for men as a guide.
I think to your point, I was asked you a question. It's like, do you feel like times like you don't deserve it?
100%. Yeah, I don't don't deserve all this love. Well, He was like, I bet Jesus is like, well, guess what, buddy? You're right, but I love you so much, and you do deserve it because I chose you, and that's it. You did nothing to bring it, and praise God, you can do nothing to lose it, which is beautiful. I want to say something. Sometimes when I say lose it, we can lose it. I just want to say that something my dad used to say that's really beautiful is that if you're afraid that you have lost Jesus or lost the presence of the Holy Spirit in your life, my dad used to say, if you're even concerned that may be a thing for you, He hasn't left you, the Holy Spirit, because the rejection of the Holy Spirit, where we push Him out, is a decision that we make. But if we're wondering, oh no, I hope that didn't happen, well, guess what? It didn't, because you would be just standing firm in your rejection of the Holy Spirit. So anyway, hopefully that's helpful for somebody. I know that's not the exact topic, but just reminding you that Jesus loves you and He lives in you, and He's going to never leave you or forsake you or abandon you.
True.
Yes, sir.
Something I know you talk about in the book, and you've mentioned it in our conversation, but the importance of brotherhood, like having that shovel friend, like you called him, for the guy who's listening is like, I don't really have any of that. I don't feel like I have any friends I can trust. What would you tell him about building that? Like, can he just pick someone? How do you start?
I mean, be weird and go first.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody invited you over for a steak,
man,
are you going to say no?
Nope.
It's like,
Two steaks?
Yeah. I
Definitely
mean, like,
not.
hey, I've got steaks. We're going to watch a ball game. Like, whatever.
Dang, what time?
Like, most guys are going to say, sure, why not? Now, 5 guys may come over. You may connect with one, but you've got to go first, and you've got to be. It doesn't mean like as soon as we meet that I'm going to tell you everything that's going on in my life and everything that is terrible. I may give you a little insight to what's going on. Like, hey, when we met, I think we were at this little retreat, and I was like, we kind of shared while we were there.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, since then we've connected, we've talked more and deeper. But the first time you meet, you're not going to be like, oh, here's everything. And that's not the way it's going to be. But I think it may take time, but you're going to be able to reach out, and it could be. I mean, for me, one thing that helped me tremendously was a group of guys that I've already mentioned that through the strength and conditioning world, we get to hang out with them. And even when I'm not around them, there's times I'll message them and they'll check in on me. I go to Jiu-Jitsu, and even though I'm not really good and I get beat up most of the time, I go in there, and for the next hour, I know like these guys care about me. They're going to beat me up. And they're going to challenge me. But at the same time, when it's over, even before, it's like, hey, man, how you doing? You doing all right? Hey, is there anything we can do for you? Like, and they're going to be there to pick me up and challenge me, and if they don't see me for a couple of weeks, they're like, dude, where you at? What's going on?
Yeah.
Hey, man, you need
cool.
come in and like, we miss you. Where you at? So I think you know, whether it be joining a gym where you're working out or you're going and hiking with somebody, just go for a hike. If you go for a walk with somebody, it's much easier to talk walking.
It is, isn't it?
Not having to look somebody, because you know, we always talk about women, they will go knee to knee.
Guys, shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah. And so like, if you're like, hey man, like, hey, I'm going to do this like 4 mile hike, and you want to come? Sure. You may drive 30 minutes there. You may drive 30 minutes back, and you walk for 4 miles.
Yeah.
Like the entire time, your shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah,
and you're going to talk for the next 4 or 5 hours about it.
Pretty great.
And, you know, and you may get back, you're like, that dude is not my cup of tea. Like he's cool, but not somebody I want to hang out with all the time. That's fine.
Yeah.
But you do that a few times, and you're going to find those guys.
Yeah.
And really, you can't wait for somebody else to invite you to do something.
Yeah. Be first.
Yeah. You'd be like, hey man, like,
Great recommendation.
I had a group of guys moved out from Oregon 3-ish years ago to Tennessee here, and we had a group of guys. It was in our community group at our church, but we decided, hey, let's do this a little different. Like, instead of meeting every single week, let's meet a week together, and then the next week is the guys out, and then the following week together, and then the following week is the girls, and so forth. So we're in Bend, Oregon, which is like this outdoor mecca of like outdoor activities. So I bought like a nice mountain bike, and we would go every time it was our turn, we would go mountain biking. So we would Mount Bachelor's right there. So we'd ride uphill about half an hour, which is brutal, but it's great exercise. And then we'd do this like downhill with jumps and everything, and usually not wreck, and we'd be fine. But afterward, we'd maybe do it. Sometimes we do it 2 times, but most of the time you're beat after like a half hour uphill. And then they have amazing like breweries, which you don't have to drink, but they have amazing food. So we'd do that. We'd go to this one called 10 Barrel, and then we'd sit down. But it was that theory of like, do something side by side, shoulder to shoulder, go slay the dragon, and then go talk about it. We open up about it afterward, but we're not like, I really want to talk about the dragon I want to go slay. We're like, can we just go do it and then talk about how we screwed it up or whatever. So yeah, I can attest to the fact like that is the missing thing, and I've missed it here even because I'm like, Tennessee is not a mountain town, like a mountain state. But there's still opportunities that we could take where whatever that is, like you said, let's make a steak, like invite someone over, do some ribs. Like we're barbecue country down here. So there's some good options.
Yeah. A lot of guys, you know, like people want to go meet for coffee. I'm like, dude, I'd rather like, let's go work out. Let's go shoot our bow. Let's go for a hike, you know, like instead of like sit down and eat and drink coffee.
Yeah. Then you're just getting energy and you can't do anything. Yeah. That's awesome.
So, Brooks, thank you really so much for being here. And I'm just going to thank you right here on air.
Yeah.
You know, I was injured. You came to my house. Your doctorate is in physical therapy. And you took, is that right? Is that the right words?
Yes, sir.
Good. You are amazing. If you guys are local in Middle Tennessee, we'll give you his email. He's amazing. He comes to you. Get ready because it helps, and get ready. And sometimes it hurts. So that's the way that it goes. Also, Brooks, you've not only written this incredible guide called Forward. I asked you to send me some other things that you do, and they just kept coming. The different websites that are available on that you're helping people through. So would you give us a description of these, and then of course we'll have them in the show notes for you guys. Yeah,
I mean, Dr. Dr. Brooks Tiller is social media, even my website. Is just kind of the local hub for everything. Physical therapy wise, I do concierge PT where I'll come to your home, dry needle, cupping, red light therapy. I bring the whole works and get you there squared away, either your home or your office, Middle Tennessee area. Just kind of make sure that you're back and ready where you want to go.
Yes, sir.
And then have a site called Divorce Disciples. And that's
a really great name, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, because we came up with the name of Divorce Disciples when Jesus called them all. Mm-hmm. Like he called a tax collector, he called fishermen, and even whenever Jesus dies, Peter's in the room and Peter's feeling that grief because he's turned his back on Jesus. And Peter's first response was, I'm going to go fishing.
Yeah.
He was still a fisherman after all.
Yeah.
But more than that, he was a disciple of Jesus. And so for us, as we were trying to lean into that, it was like, you know, you in the church especially, you get that stigma of divorced. You're divorced. Mm-hmm. And So in that, we're like, no, you're a disciple more than you are a divorce. Like, yeah, that's one thing that people may know you by, but you're still a disciple, and you can still bring others to Jesus and serve him. And so Divorce Disciples, the link to the book is there. It's also on Amazon. The goal is that we're going to put more resources out there, possible podcasts and blogs, some even courses that churches can go through with those who are divorced, as well as those that are helping them.
You're working on that course right now. And what's that called?
Don't really have
working title. It's coming soon.
Yeah. So basically it's so the church can have a quarter, 12 weeks of going through divorce and helping those in the church that are going through divorce, helping the leaders understand divorce better, and also helping those that are supporting those that are going through divorce, and just kind of have a team collection here to go through all of that. So Dr. Brooks Tiller, Divorce Disciples, and then Tiller Performance would be my physical therapy side.
Awesome.
There you go. Thank you
so much. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Thank you. We got to get outside. I want to do some of this outside stuff together with you. So thanks for being here. Thanks for being here in our studio. And it was a blessing to have you. And I hope that all of those that have heard and listened today will be blessed as well. Whether you're divorced or not, I know that you heard things that spoke to your heart as a man, and reach out and to men that are still suffering. And in the meantime, be the man that God created you to be. So we love you. And just continue to share these podcasts with your friends. You could subscribe. You can hit the bell. Either way, that'll send the notifications. You guys know how YouTube works, but man, we've got a lot of subscribers, which is beautiful. But guys aren't the biggest commenters. We would love for you to comment. We'd love to hear from you. We see every single one of them. So comment. Let us know what you think. We love you, and we want to know how you're doing, and we want to know if this is being effective and your perspective. So we love you, man. And so thank you for being here, and God bless you guys, and see you next week.
See ya.